Oh, hi there, history buffs. Welcome to the inaugural edition of History 180. I'm your host, Nick. For tonight's topic, Charles Lindbergh. Born on February 4, 1902, Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr. grew up in Little Falls, Minnesota, on the banks of the Mississippi River. He began as a stunt pilot, wing walker, and barnstormer, so early on he earned the famous nickname Lucky Lindy. However, his defining moment came on May 20th, 1927, when his plane, the Spirit of St. Louis, bounced down the runway at Roosevelt Field, Long Island, barely cleared a ravine at the end, and took off. 33 and a half hours later, he arrived, exhausted but alive, at Le Bourget Airport just outside of Paris. He was an instant celebrity at age 25, and he became nicknamed the Lone Eagle. While out promoting American aviation, he spent one Christmas with Dwight Morrow, the U.S. ambassador to Mexico. There he met the shyest of Ambassador Morrow's daughters, Anne. Charles and Anne soon forged a strong and lasting marriage. One of the defining moments of their union came on March 1, 1932, when their firstborn son, Charlie Jr., was kidnapped from their home. Despite the largest manhunt in U.S. history, the Lindbergh baby was not found until 2 months later, buried in the woods only 4 miles from the house. 4 years later, a German immigrant named Bruno Hauptmann was convicted of the kidnapping. He was executed in 1936, although doubt still remains as to who committed the crime of the century. Anne and Charles endured the trial and continued to travel around the world, mapping new territories and testing flight routes. All the while, Charles contributed to the earliest artificial hearts, the first rocket flights, and tests of the effects of high-altitude flight on the human body. Prior to World War II, Charles was very unpopular for his isolationist policies. He argued that rather than joining the war, the US should build up its own military defenses. However, he used his celebrity status to spy on German air development. Still, he was vilified in the press for never outright condemning the Nazis. Once the war started, though, he enlisted as an Air Force consultant, where he flew bombing runs and even shot down Japanese fighters. Later in life, Lindbergh turned his efforts towards conservation. He traveled the world over again to use his star power to preserve natural habitats. Lindbergh died quietly in his family's presence in Maui, Hawaii. The Lone Eagle succumbed to cancer on August 29, 1974. He was survived by Anne and their 5 remaining children, John, Land, Anne, Scott, and Reeve. That's all for today. Remember, history buffs, to teach is to learn twice. Bye-bye.